Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ASKA. If you like your survival base building, your management style games, specifically with a kind of a Viking, a Norse mythology vibe to it, you're going to love this. We're going to jump straight into it today. I'm going to click new game and we're going to go for a normal playthrough. Now, there will be a seed number. The worlds are procedurally generated. I'm going to share this seed in the description in case you want to follow along. But we can choose between two different characters and click start. And there's going to be about a 30-second video that's going to introduce you to this game, just give you some backstory. I'm going to let you watch that first, and then we're going to crack on and get started. I'll try and keep each video to about 2 hours.
In the days before, the gods gave us the spark of ambition, which lit the fires of creation. They gave us a world of our own, a home. They made us builders, warriors, legends. They gave us everything. But our hubris overcame us. We thought ourselves to be gods instead. We tore apart their memory, and so we were punished. Everyone, everything cast into the fire. Yet some of us were spared. To start again.
All right, so there you have it. You can see we've upset the gods, and as a result now, we are shipwrecked. We've been left on this island, and if we turn around, we can see the Jotun warrior there looking very appeased with the fact that we have nothing. We have to start again. So he's going to leave us alone for now, and maybe we'll see him later. Maybe not. We'll deal with that another time. But for now, let's just give you a quick orientation just so you understand what it is we're looking at here. I think this game is very, very well built. There's a lot going on. So just to take a few moments. The survival game is based around some mythology here where it says the gods decree we have to construct the Eye of Odin and rebuild our tribe. This is about building a tribe. In order to survive, like anything, we've got to get food, water and shelter to get started. There is an element of raiding in this game, so we will get raided in our base, kind of like a tower defense game. So we're going to have to protect from attacks. There's also a mini boss and a main boss fight, and there's also a kind of a story mode that goes along this as well. There's events that happen, and so there's quite a lot wrapped into this. And I believe the game was built in the Unity engine, but the developers have done a great job. There's a few little nuances here and there, but overall, very, very well designed game, and it plays incredibly well. You should enjoy it. Compass at the top of the screen. Top right, we can see we're in spring. So our first goal is going to be to try and survive winter. We can see time, temperature, how many villages we've got, and how many days we've survived. We've got our map. If we press M, we open up the main map. And so coming out of that and looking again at the UI, bottom left, we've got food, thirst, and temperature. Bottom middle, we've got our buffs and debuffs. We've got our health, our stamina, and then our hotbar. And bottom right is what we've got in our left and right hand. So we're going to walk around. The first thing we're going to do is pick up this blue shard. It's known as Jotun blood. It's a magical resource, so I can go ahead and pick that up. And this is going to add a journal entry, but I'm going to pick a few more of these up. And before we get into the journal, let me just tell you about a few of the keys. We can press I, which opens up the inventory. On the left, we can see all of the armor or items that we have equipped, including our left and right hand, any ammo or arrows, and any bait or small equipables. We don't get encumbered in this game in the typical sense of weight, but we do have a limited amount of slots between small, medium, and large items. Over on the right, we can see our base stats, our buffs and debuffs and what they mean. And we've got some proficiencies, but not that many. It depends on the character that you pick. So proficiencies, if they have a star, that means that you're going to learn that skill faster. And this is really important when you're managing your settlement, because you're going to want to put certain people in certain roles, and then they're going to level up their skills as a result of that. The next menu that we're going to talk about here is the B menu. This is for build. The B key opens up everything from materials, where we can craft basic things like ropes and stone blades, all the way through to some more advanced features, which we'll get into a bit later. Other keys that you might want to know about are the H key. H opens up tutorials. This is everything we've just talked about and goes through it in detail. So you can read all about that. The J key, which is the journal we just spoke about, including any items we pick up, allows you to then interact with them. Blueprints, items, and then creatures. We've then got the G key. The G is for gods. There are 7 gods. These are your quests. Now, you don't have to complete these, but if you're going for completionist, then this is something you'll want to do. So combat, for example, there's 3 different tiers, tier 1, 2, and 3. And we can't see tier 3 until we unlock tier 2. And we can't see tier 2 until we complete tier 1. So a few things that we have to do. An example here in survival is going to be press Z to highlight resources around you. So I can pin this, and I can pin up to 3 things. And by doing that, it's going to put it onto the main screen. So for example, I want to learn the ropes. I want to craft a basic stone axe. The next key is tab, and that is your settlement. This is broken down into a log of your day, any general information, as well as any structures you've got and any villages that you've got. And then finally is your settlement and resources, of which we've got nothing stored. All right, that's everything we need to know. Let's jump in and get started. So we're going to press Z. That's going to mean the Skadi god favors us, and we've completed the quest Resource Finder. So now we can see kind of where some resources are around the map. We're going to just walk around at this stage and just pick them up. So press E to pick up. We're going to pick up these small stones, and we're going to use these momentarily. But first, let's just walk around. We're also going to pick up these reeds. And to get started, we're going to try and aim to pick up 10 stones and 10 reeds, just as kind of a little starting point. We're going to walk around this way. Now, as you walk around the back of this big rock, you're going to see some mussels. This is a food source, so we're going to pick that up. Like any item you can see in your inventory, there's going to be a bar. This shows you the durability. So weapons have durability, tools have durability, but so do other items. If you leave thatch out in the rain, it will degrade quicker than if you put it into storage. Food will spoil and go rotten, so you have to keep an eye on things like that. All right, we're going to keep walking around, picking up things. So we'll grab these reeds, grab these small stones. And again, at this stage in the game, we're just trying to pick up 10 of each. We can keep an eye on them just by pressing the I key. So we've got 7 stones and 4 reeds. We're just going to pick up another clump here. And as you can see, we're kind of leveling up some of our proficiencies there. So gathering is now level 6 as well. All right. What we're going to do now is we're going to start some very basic crafting. And to do that, we're just going to press the B key. That's going to open up the menu. And it's going to allow us to craft some core items. I'm just going to try and get 1 more stone before we do that. There we go. Because if I craft materials, I can do 1 rope or 5. Same with stone blades. I can do 1 or 5, and it takes exactly the same amount of time. So I'm going to do all 10. So I've made 10 stone blades. Now at the moment, I cannot actually craft any rope because I don't have any fiber. All I have is this thatch, which is a medium item. Well, large items can be broken into medium, medium into small in most cases. And you do that by holding left shift and harvest. So left click, I will harvest that into fibers. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to unwind it, I'm going to break it down into fibers. So now I've got those. I can come back into the build menu, go to my rope, and now I can craft 5 rope. Now I've got rope and stone. All right, I'm just going to continue to forage at this stage. I'm going to see what's around here. I can see a bird's nest. If I gather from this, it's going to give me an egg and some feathers. And then if I keep looking around, I'm also going to find the ability to pick up some sticks. So sticks from this tree gives you a dwarf spruce. This is the basic way to be able to pick up resources. All right, now we're going to see our first enemy. Enemies show up when you press Z by the red. You're going to see they have 2 bars. The first one is their health bar. The second one is their stun meter. If you deplete the yellow bar, they'll get stunned. Now they have an attack pattern. They will attack us. We can also attack them. We can do small and we can do heavy attacks. And so initially, as you can see, it's not really doing much damage, but this is going to give us some more fibers. And then it's going to give us some sticks as well. All right, so now that we've got the basics, we can craft some tools. We're going to make ourselves a stone axe. We also want to make ourselves a stone pickaxe. Excellent. Now, rather than picking up stones as we have been, if we come to this small stone clump, we can hold down R. Now, you do not have to have the tools in your inventory. You don't need to select them. The character, as long as you have them in your inventory, they will automatically pick them up and start using them by pressing the R key. So we're using a pickaxe right now. And what this is doing is we're harvesting this small stone clump, and it's going to give us some large stones and some small stones. So we can just pick those up. Now we could pick up this large stone and carry it around with us. You'll see that in our inventory, or we can drop it. We can drop it by dragging it to the middle and letting go. We can also drag it if we want to by pressing X. Lots of ways to let it go. We can also harvest it into smaller stones. I'm not going to do that, it's a waste of time. Alright, so I'm going to keep walking. I can see another one of those wisps that we just attacked. But this time we've got a tool. And so we're going to be able to do a lot more damage. And as you can see now, it's just 3 hits and it's dead. So different tools have different effects. Hammers, axes, swords. And depending on what you're fighting, you'll get different buffs or debuffs depending on how they react. So for example, skeletons, you want to attack those with hammers. Whereas wolves, you want to attack those with an axe. So different enemies react to different things. Alright, with that being said, we're just going to keep running at this stage. Now we're going to have to hydrate ourselves, and we can do that by finding one of these, which is a natural water collector. Again, press Z and you'll see anything that's interactable is yellow. But this is a way to drink water. We just hold down E and we'll take a drink. Now we also have a water pouch in our hotbar, so we could just use that to drink as well. We can also refill this from one of these as well. But this only has one resource in it, and we've used it up now, so it's gone. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to look for these. These are like small clumps, but these are called small Jotun blood shards. So I'm assuming just things that have fallen off of that Jotun warrior, and we're going to harvest these down. These are guaranteed to give you 1 or 2 blood shards, about 3 small stones, and a large stone. The only problem at the moment is our tools are not very good. And so we're going to be harvesting these. It's going to be very slow. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to be able to survive winter. We know that. We also really want to be able to make sure we have a food source, a water source. We want to automate as much of the work as possible. So we're going to get people to do it for us. And we want to just grow and, again, survive winter and do all the things we need to do. So the first thing to do is put down a fire. Now to do that, press B, and we're going to go into bushcraft, and we need to put down a small fire. But we don't just want to put it down anywhere, so we're going to find somewhere. In this instance, what we're going to do is just run along the beach, because we do want to be near the beach, and we're going to start looking for a suitable place that we can call home. Now we need to be near 2 resources. We need to be near a cave, and we need to be near a water source. We need to try and build somewhere on open land. And so that's our initial goal at the moment. And because it's getting quite late on the first day, we're just going to explore a bit of the map at the moment, see what's around. Now you don't need to sleep. The only time you need to sleep is if you need to heal. Otherwise, you can just work day and night, which is quite a nice thing. We're just going to pick up these small stones and those blue shards, and we're going to keep walking. And if we look in front of us, we're going to see, I just saw there's a wolf. And so this here, this clump in front is a wolf den. Now wolves, they're going to typically howl. And once they howl and they let out an audio signal, then they're going to attack you. So we've just had a howl. Then they're going to attack. There's the howl. Now it's going to attack me. And they follow these patterns, which if we wanted to, we could actually avoid. Here we go. Alright, so if we stand still, it's going to attack us. We can also attack it. We just stand out the way. All we need to do is just keep moving to the side. It will keep missing us. We can hit it, move out the way. We're just not doing very much damage at the moment. So whilst we can do this, we're not going to. We're going to leave those for now. They're quite strong. We don't have the tools to kill them. Also, if they hurt us, they create a bleed effect. Or they can create a bleed effect which stacks. And so we could bleed out. So just bear that in mind. So Wolfer Dens, good that they're there, but we're not going to go near it. Instead, we're going to come up here and we are going to continue to harvest these blood shards. This is all we need to do at the moment, is just get as many of these as possible. So at the very start, it said we have to create the Eye of Odin, and then we can use the Eye of Odin to summon villagers. And we summon villagers using blood shards. It takes 5 blood shards to summon 1 villager. And we started with 5, but we're going to want to make some more. And we want to get as many villagers in as we can. Today, our goal is to try and get 8 villagers. So 8 villagers is going to require about 40 of these. And we get 1 or 2 per rock. So you kind of get the idea of just how many of these we have to harvest. All right, there we go. So we're going to pick up that one. We'll take some of these. Now, because it's nighttime, we're going to walk around and we can actually find things a lot easier at night. This is called flax. You can kind of see it at night because it's got this kind of glowy effect. There's also going to be berries. There's going to be other items that we can pick up. Here is some garlic that we can pick up. So we can pick up garlic. We have to be careful of our inventory. It's getting quite full. But we're going to keep moving around. And I'm typically at the moment trying to move a little bit more inland. So from where we kind of were, we're just going to keep moving inland. And we're trying to find a mountain. That's what we're looking for. Now, there are going to be some creatures that are not hostile. These are kind of like deer. They're not hostile. So we can ignore them. And as you can see, it's quite a beautiful little land here. So we're going to pick up as many of these flax seeds as we can. These are absolute musts. We need as many of these as possible. So we're going to pick them up. We're going to harvest a few more of these dwarf spruces. And then we're going to try and find some trees. So here is a young fir tree. Now with a young fir tree, we can harvest it with our stone axe. Similar to what we did with the pickaxe. With the stone, this time we're just going to chop down a tree. And we're going to get more sticks. So I'm just going to chop one tree down so you can see it. We'll carry a few of the bits with us. And when you chop down a tree, it will break into 2 parts. The first is the stump. And if we break down the stump, we're going to get firewood. The second part is the tree itself, which we need to then fell and strip back. So there's 2 parts to breaking a tree. There's knocking it down and then there's stripping it back. And now if I highlight, you'll be able to see I've got a few things from this. So there's bark that I can pick up. There's also some resin that I can pick up. There's some small sticks that I can pick up. There's also some long sticks that I can pick up. Now a long stick is a large item, so I can only carry 1 of them. But if I didn't want to carry a long stick with me, I can simply harvest this into smaller sticks and a bit more bark. So here I'm going to get, as you can see, a bit more bark, some firewood and some more sticks. So I'm basically picking up as much here as I can just to get me started before we crack on and go and find some other things. So pretty much full up now. Can't really carry much else with us. So we're going to keep heading off, get some more of that flax. Flax, you can see there's loads of it here. This is a really, really good location. This is one of the biggest bottlenecks early game. So we want to pick up as much flax as we absolutely can whilst it's dark. Always easier to pick up flax because you can see it easier in the night. You can see there's some here. There's some over there. So we just keep pressing Z. Keep looking around. That's an animal there. That's just a deer. We're going to ignore that. And we're going to pick up this. All right. So we can now kind of start heading over this way. Now, you can see in front this kind of scree, this kind of like mounting vibe that we've got in front of us. This is typically the start of a cave location. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to walk up here and we're going to see if it's possible to locate a cave. There you go. There you go. An unexplored cave. So again, easier at night, but to find the cave entrance, you just keep pressing Z. And as we're looking around, we're looking for an entrance, which is typically going to be very yellow. So as we're looking around, trying to find the entrance to the cave, there it is. So a huge yellow rock. That is the entrance to the cave. But at the moment, there's nothing we can do. We can't get in there. But we now know it's here and we've discovered it, so it's in our map. So we've got this wolfer den. We've got this unexplored cave. We've got our starting location. I think we're going to set up somewhere in the middle. So we're going to put a waypoint down. We're going to use the compass just to head towards that. And hopefully that is going to provide us with some form of flat land. That's what I'm kind of looking for. It kind of looks a bit flat here. A bit small maybe. You can probably see if there's something a little bit bigger. I mean, that is decent land there. Let's head over this way though. There's a marker that I placed. You can see it in the distance. Let's see if we can find a bit more land that we can build upon. The goal here is to have a bit of open space. We're going to start with a small settlement, but we are going to expand it. So we kind of want to plan that out. This looks good in front. Nice open land here. All right. I guess this is going to be where we're going to build. All right, so we'll start building kind of next to this willow tree here. So again, on the map, just so you can see, in between the wolfer den, the unexplored cave, and the shipwreck. Got this middle section here. And then we can see there is a willow tree. And we are going to build right next to this willow tree. So I'm going to put down a simple fire. Now it really doesn't matter where I put this. I'm just going to chuck it on the floor here. It can go absolutely anywhere. I'm going to put it under the tree for now. Now this needs supplies. So I have to press R to add the supplies. And if I press Q, it's going to tell me what supplies I need. You can see in the top left, I need fibers and sticks. Well, I've already got loads of those from the gathering that we did, so I'm going to supply that. And that simple fire has now been built. Now, if I go into the menu, it's telling me I need to make a campfire. Now, I can place one of these down somewhere else, or I can go to my existing fire and press the T key. If I press T, it will open up the fire. First thing I can do is rename, so I'm just going to call this base camp. And I can now select an upgrade. So I can turn this into a campfire, which means that it will not extinguish once the fuel has been burned up. So I'll go ahead and build this. Pin the menu again by pressing Q. I need small stones and sticks, of which I've got. So I'm going to supply them. And now this is built. And if I want to, I can hold E to ignite it. And that will turn on the fire. All right, now I've got a fire. Now if I go back into this menu, I cannot upgrade this anymore, but I can do add-ons. So I can add a fire cover. This will protect it from the rain. Or I can do a barbecue. This is going to take sticks and rope and other things. So other things I can do here with add-ons. And this is the same for most buildings. Buildings can be upgraded. Upgraded buildings can have add-ons. So with that being said, we can see this has given us an area of desirability, +7 to our base. We can come out of this. And now we need to look at what is going to be next. Well, the next thing for us is going to be a shelter. So we're going to build a basic shelter. It doesn't really matter where we build this, but for me, I'm actually going to build it kind of next to that camp, but in this area. Now, it looks like there's something on the ground here. Some berries. Right, so I'm going to need to pick these berries up. So let me just drop this seed on the floor. I don't need that flax seed. I don't need those pine cones for now. And instead, I'm going to pick up these berries because I can't build when there's something on the floor. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a way to place down my first structure, which is going to be this kind of shelter. Now, in order to build this, I need to flatten the land. And to do that, I need a hoe. So go to Tools, Wooden Hoe. I'm going to need 4 sticks. So first thing I need to do is look around. There's a tree here, so I can harvest this tree. I'm going to knock this tree down. And I'm going to build myself, give myself some sticks. So we know how to harvest trees, and we know how to harvest basic stones. I can only do young firs at the moment. They're the only things I can pick up is a young fir. I'm going to do that. Some more sticks there. I'll pick those up. All right. So we've got a nice little starting point going on here. Now I can go in and I can build myself a wooden hoe. With the wooden hoe, I can come back to here and I can flatten this by pressing the E key. Now, it's always important to flatten land, and we can also do this with the terraforming tool. So we can terraform land to make sure it's always going to be the same height. This is kind of powerful if you're building big settlements and you don't want stuff that's like higher or lower in different places. As you can see here, it creates kind of like this lip effect. So if you want to get rid of that lip effect, we can just terraform the land. It picks a starting point, which is going to be the lowest point that you're at. And then what you can do from here is you can just kind of craft out like this, drop this down. And now if I start to put this down, you'll see it will start to flatten out some of this land, or it might start to lift it up. It really depends on what you're doing. So this now has a bit of a lump to it. But we've got this area here that we can play with. Now, it's quite foggy in this morning, so we're just going to pin this shelter, see what is needed. A couple of long sticks, which we've got from this tree. Just going to go ahead and put these in. And you can now see in the shelter there are 3 stages, and we're at stage 1 of 3. So we're going to put this in first. And then to build this, we need a hammer. And to get a hammer, we're going to need some more sticks. So again, we're just going to look around, see what we can find. Looks like we're going to have to go for another tree, or we can harvest from these as well, remember? And we're going to craft ourselves a hammer. Whilst we're here, we're also going to craft ourselves a stone knife, but to do that, we need to make ourselves another stone blade. We'll get a stone blade, we'll make a stone knife, and if we want a simple torch to help us see at night, that's going to be rope, resin, and sticks. I'm not going to bother with a torch, I don't need one. But now I've got my hammer, I'm going to come and build this structure. So far, so good. Nice and easy. Now I'm going to build this in 3 stages. So stage 1 is resources and then build. And then we go into stage 2, which is more resources. So this is going to need another long stick, which means I'm going to need to chop down another tree to come to this young fir. Chop this down, and I also need some rope. Well, rope, I know I can craft rope quite easily using fiber, and I've got loads of fiber. So I'll do that. I'll chop down this tree, and I need 1 long stick, but then I need 8 sticks. So I need to be able to pick up to 8 sticks. The way that I'm going to do this is I'll strip this part first. This will give me some sticks, and it will give me some long sticks. Then, because I don't need more than 1 long stick, I'll just break that down to give me some more that I can then use. Alright, so I've got 6, I need 2 more. So I'm going to harvest down this long stick. That's going to give me some more smaller sticks. And now I've got enough to do this. I pick up the long stick, and I'll go and put this in here. So it's day 2. I really want to be able to bring my first villager in today. But first I have to be able to build this. Then we need to go into stage 3. We also need to keep an eye on our hydration meter, so I can see that's going down. So I'll take a quick drink out of my pouch. And now I need 2 pieces of bark. So we're going to look around. There's some bark here. We'll pick that up. Great. That's enough. Let's go ahead and build this shelter. And there's our shelter. So now we can start to build in the settlement tab the Eye of Odin. We're going to go ahead and build the Eye of Odin. We're going to place this somewhat near to this. But we want to, again, make sure that we terraform the land, because we want to make sure that what we're building is all nice and flat. And so to do that, we're just going to come in a nice straight line here. We're going to flatten this out as much as we can. That just gives us a nice foundation to kind of work from. You can't do all of this, we can only do some of it. But these are the bits we can do. And look, you can see this is actually lifting this up here, It wants it all to be the same level. Now, if we do decide to go out that way, we can build out this way. But then to do that, again, it's going to do the same thing. Which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with this. Lifting it up, lowering it down. It's a bit of a timely process, but again, it just makes everything nice and clean. So we can go ahead and do this just so we've got a nice flat bit of land to work from. Now, you don't have to do this. As I mentioned, it's up to you. Some people like really nice aesthetic bases. Some people don't really care. I personally like the fact that when I'm pathing and I'm moving from place to place, I haven't got lots of like ups and downs that are going to hinder my movement. So I like to try and keep things as kind of smooth as I can. And as you can see here, this is it's a bit raised here. What I can do is I can actually lower this if I want to as well. It doesn't have to go up, it also can go down. What I need to do is put this down, and now it will kind of flatten it down to this kind of level. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to flatten this, and that's going to give me kind of a starting place to work from. Now I know part of that's risen up and it's got a bit of a bump in it, but I'm actually okay with that. This works quite well. Now I can kind of dismantle that, which will stop me doing the rest of it. And kind of this works quite well. We've got this little like starting point here. And again, if I want to change it, make it lower, do anything else, I can do that as well. I'm going to put down the Eye of Odin. Now it honestly doesn't matter where this goes, but for me, I'm going to place it just here. Kind of feels like a nice little starting point. So I've got this willow tree here. And then I'm going to want to come pretty much in a line, I imagine, from here. Kind of works well. So I kind of think that is a good place to put it right here. It's going to need some small stones. It's going to need sticks and long sticks. We're going to have to craft that. Look, there's also some flax here, so we'll grab that. And we're just going to chop down another tree. So building takes time. I'm going to eat something as well. I eat my mussels that I've got. Building takes time, and so does chopping down wood. And so the quicker we can automate this process, the better. If we can get other people to do this for us, that's just going to make the whole journey a lot easier, right? So I'll pick up these sticks. I also need some long sticks. So I'm going to put one of those in as well. Come over here and put this in. Now I need some more, so we're going to keep looking around. Second long stick. And then I'm just going to want to get some more sticks. And rather than grabbing this from another tree, I'm just going to come over here. I'll grab this first. There's actually some more over here, so I'll grab. Just pressing Z to have a look around. There's some over here as well. Look, so I'll grab some from here. Okay, so now we've got enough to do part one. I'll build this. And then we'll have to do part two. And that requires 2 large stones. All right, so large stones, we know we can harvest these small stone clumps. We'll get 2 large stones, and then we will summon our first villager. Okay. All right, second one goes in, and now we can build. And the outcome for today is to automate parts of the process and see if we can get up towards a farm. That's what we're aiming for. Now we've got the heart of the settlement, which means we can start to bring people in. So we put in 5 of these bloodstones, activate it, and we get to choose a newcomer. There's 2 options. They'll come with 5 traits, 3 of which are hidden. So this one lacks physical strength for effective wood cutting, but is good in the snow. This one's also good in the snow, but makes the most of rejuvenating effects. Okay, so feels good in the spring. We'll go for Fenno right now. We'll then queue up the next one. We're actually missing 1 blood shard. So there's only 2 things we need to do at this stage. The first thing we need to do is we need to be able to chop down trees. This is important at the moment because we're going to need the resources. But once we've chopped them down, we're not going to harvest them. We're not going to pick up the materials. In fact, all we're going to do this time is just chop the trees down, and that's it. On the right hand side, you can see there's a timer of 3 minutes until our villager arrives. We always want to make sure we've got enough blood shards so that we can start summoning the next villager. Now I'm 1 short at the moment, so I really want to go out and find 1 blood shard, ideally before that kind of 3 minutes runs out. So I'm going to take a run in this general direction, kind of see one in front of me there. That's a large one though. Can't harvest these large stones at the moment, so we're going to have to get a small stone. There's a small one right here. In fact, there's 2 of them, so we're going to harvest this. And right now we know how to forage food, from berries to eggs to mussels on the beach. We're going to eat these because we can see that the durability of this is going down. We're going to eat those eggs. We know how to get water. So right now we can survive. Basically we're okay. But if we look at the condition of our settlement by pressing tab, we have no water supply, no food production, and no enclosed walls. There's still a lot of work we need to do to protect ourselves. Now there's a lot of different ways you can play this game, and it's very easy to put hundreds of hours into it. The whole purpose of me explaining this today is to give you an overview of the basics. In subsequent videos, we're just going to crack on and build, and I've got a plan for this to show you. We're not going to speed run this, but we're going to make it effective. So we're going to have an effective gameplay whilst working towards the end goal, and I'm going to try and help you to build this out in the best way possible. So with that being said, we've got this queued up and ready to go. We are now just going to focus on more trees and more bloodstones. So when somebody joins your settlement initially, they will become a builder. This new person is going to become a builder. They're going to have somewhere to live, because everyone needs somewhere to live, which means we need to focus on what we're going to build next. It's actually getting a little bit dark. I should have done it before it got dark. But I can now build some basic production facilities. The first of which is going to be a logging camp or a logging pit. This is going to allow us to make logs. All right, the first of many. Not logs, sorry, but chop down trees. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at where we just started, which is kind of like here. The accommodation is there. There's this kind of Eye of Odin. All right, so we can go in this general direction. I want to go into basic production, and I want to make myself a woodcutter's pit. Right, that's the first thing that I'm going to aim for here. Now, before I get too carried away, I want to kind of just terraform this land a little bit, just to kind of give it that vibe of being the same shape as everything else we've got going on. And if I leave this here, the person who's just joined us, he will terraform this on my behalf. So I don't even need to do anything. He's going to do it for me. So I can help him to make the whole process go quicker. But yeah, basically he's going to do all the terraforming. And he's going to go and get all the materials he needs to get, and then he's going to start building. And that's his job. That's all he needs to do. All right, so we've got this nice flat area. This all kind of works really well. Everything over there we're just going to ignore for now. Instead, we're going to put down this woodcutter's pit. And again, in order to decide where to place this, I kind of think like initially, yeah, that kind of feels good. I think we're going to place this around here. All right, cool. So this is now going to become the woodcutter's pit, and he is going to build that. So I can pin it to the menu. And I want to make sure that I get my second villager on the way. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to summon the next person. Looking at some skills, I'll bring in this person. Doesn't really matter. There's buffs and debuffs, and we don't really want any debuffs. And now, whilst he's building that, he's on his way. I'm going to get some more of these blood shards so I can bring the next person in. And that's kind of the start of the game at the moment. It's just a lot of farming these things, making sure we've got enough blood shards, upgrading our tools so we can do more stuff, and upgrading our proficiencies. That's our focus in early game. So in order to level up, we want to make ourselves a workshop. That's the first point of call. We want to get a workshop. Now, in order to do this, we need a stonecutter pit and a woodcutter pit. So, if we look at basic production, we've already got the woodcutter pit, or we're working on it now. We also need a stonecutter's pit and a gatherer's pit. So, we're going to use our villager to build this for us. And as we get more people, they can do more jobs, and we'll become more hands-off. Now, he's going to grab the sticks from what we left laying around. He can't actually go and harvest sticks at the moment because we haven't told him to do that. Which means the only thing that he can do is use resources that are already out and about. And so for that reason, we have to go back and supply the rope because he doesn't have any rope and he can't craft it at the moment. So we're going to head back, but in doing so, we're just going to first... let's see if we can find a couple more of these... little shards down here. And then we'll have our woodcutter pit. Again, there's no rush in this game. We can relax. We do have to prepare for winter, but there's more than enough time to do that. And we've broken our stone pickaxe, so we're going to have to craft another one. We know that to do that, we're going to need 2 stone blades. So to do that, oh, we actually don't have any on us. So we look for some stones. And the crazy thing is, there's loads of stones over here. We just didn't pick them up. So there's also mushrooms over there. Alright, let's just go back, grab these small stones. Now we can go ahead and craft ourselves another stone pickaxe. We just need to make these into stone blades. Perfect. And we can now start to bring our next villager in. So we'll add the rope that we need in here. Just need one more piece of rope, which we can make loads of rope, by the way. And in fact, because we can make loads of rope, if we take that rope and just throw it on the floor, the villagers will pick it up and use it. There you go, going to make that first building for us. And we can help them with this. Every villager that joins will have basic tools. So I'll talk through the menus in a minute, but they'll have a hammer, a plough, a pickaxe, and an axe. They all come with them same items. Because we've got a second person now, we need to build a second shelter. We're just going to go ahead and put another shelter down. I can click on the first shelter, press R, and I can assign someone into it. So he now lives in that house. This next house is being built. We're going to go out and find some more of those blue stones. So now the good news is that stuff's getting built whilst we're out, so we're not kind of wasting time. And even though we can't see a damn thing that's going on, we can kind of head out back into this direction. I think this is where we was. No, it's a different one. Just having a kind of look around, getting a feel. There's one there. It's a big one though. So they need a long stick at the moment, and it's very possible we don't have a long stick. No, we do. He's building from it, so that's great. So we're going to run around and do a little bit of a loop, and then we'll do a bigger loop, and we'll keep repeating that process as we discover more land, more shards. There's going to be lots of things as we move around here. Oh, there's loads here, so we'll pick these up. And I can see the sticks going in, and if they stop for any reason, they're either tired or they don't have resources. I'm going to pick up a few of these stones as well, just so I've got some on me. Going to eat some more food, drink some more water, and carry on. Now I am responsible for feeding and providing drinks for all of my villagers as well, so I have to provide them with everything. They don't fight. The only time they'll fight is if their house gets attacked, then they'll fight. Otherwise, most of the time they'll simply just run away. They don't want to fight anything. So we're responsible for defending. We're responsible for providing food. We're responsible for basically doing everything, unless we tell them what we want them to do. So later we can assign warriors, we can assign woodcutters, all that good stuff. But the only thing we can't do, really, is assign anyone to pick this stuff up. We have to do this ourselves. So, knowing that we've got enough there, we're going to keep looking around. We want to pick up a couple more whilst we're out. We don't just want to go back yet. Right, there's something there. That's a wolf. Now, in the early game, we can attack these wolves. There's a few of them here. We don't really want to fight them. So we're going to run away. Now, this looks like a different... It is, it's a different wolf den. And as well as that wolf den, over here, it looks like there's different enemies. Skeletons. You hear them drawing their sword. This is a small cemetery. Alright, so lots of things here that are going to attack us. You won't get attacked unless you go to a point of interest. So if you go to an area, they will attack you if you go within range. But if you back off, they won't. They won't follow you too far. They'll de-aggro and they'll go back to their patrols. So you just need to bear that in mind as you're kind of running around. That at the start, you're going to be okay. But if you stumble across something, you can get attacked. And yeah, at the moment, we're okay. You won't get attacked if you're just standing somewhere and there's no point of interest. So like here, I won't get attacked. Excellent, we'll pick that up. Pick up these stones, we've got some of those. And we're going to kind of start heading back now. And see a big icon in the distance there that's just started to spawn in. We can go on. Anytime you see something like a point of interest, just walk up to it. As soon as you discover it, it will show up on your map. And then later we can go and clear them out. To clear them out, you have to kill a mini boss. And you can clear them out, or you can harvest them for resources. You know, there's lots you can do. Like, for example, tomorrow we'll go and get the wolves and we'll fight the wolves. Good source of meat and fur. And bones, actually. For now, though, let's start with the basics. Our initial goal, and the thing we want to do before anything else, is upgrade our tools. We need a workbench. So nothing else matters right now except a workbench. Oh look, we're back at the mine. So this was the mine that we started at. It's right here. Which means we're very close between the mine, all of the resources that are around. There's loads of stuff here. We've seen loads of food. There's loads of animals. There's loads of fiber. There's loads of trees. So we've got really everything we need all within this small area. There's that willow tree, so it's always easy to find our way home. Just head to the willow tree. Okay. All right, let's have a look at what we're building here. So, we're going to get our next person. And look, if we have one more of those, we can make another one after this. You can look at the skills. I'm just going to go for the first person. I'm going to get the next one queued up ready. Right, so now this pit is built, the woodcutter's pit, we can assign someone to it. So we're going to assign someone, and now they are a woodcutter. This person's a woodcutter, this person is a builder. Also, we need to give them a home. So they've both got a home now. So one person's going to build, and one person's going to chop down trees. So his only job is to chop down trees, and the other person's only job is to build. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go for a gatherer pit. A gatherer pit is going to allow us to forage and to get resources. So we're going to put one of these down, and we'll put this down kind of just like here for now. And then on top of this, we'll go for another one, and we'll do a stone cutter pit. And we'll kind of just do the same thing. We'll put it just... Oh, for now, we're just going to put it kind of here, right? Doesn't matter exactly where it goes, we're just going to put it kind of there. So we've got woodcutter, forager, and stone. Perfect. Now we don't need to do anything because the woodcutter's going to chop the wood down, the builder's going to build. All we need to do is just watch to see what's being done. So I'll press Q. We also will need some more accommodation because in a minute and a half we've got our next person joining us. So we'll make some more shelter and just kind of chuck this down. Perfect. And we'll watch that as well so we can see everything that's being made. And you guessed it, we're going to go out and grab some more blue shards. That's it. That's our initial game loot. Bring in as many people as we can. And keep expanding. Now we've got 50 seconds for the next villager. As you get more villagers, it will take longer for new ones to arrive. Okay, we'll get that. So knowing that we've got about 30 seconds, we're going to have a quick look around. Is there anything else here? I can't see anything close by. Oh, there's one here. Now, I can't do the big ones, so I'm only going to do the small ones. So I'll do this one here. Now, these guys are called smokers, and they are pests. They are brilliant AI. They are completely annoying. I hate them. So they do a very good job at being pests. There we go. Next villager. We now have 3 villagers that have joined us. All right, let's head back. A little bit hungry, so we'll eat some berries. And we're going to go and summon our next villager. At the same time, in the top left, you can see the terraforming that's happening, the building that's happening. this person a rocker and a forager. Brilliant. Well, we want a forager, so that's good. And you guessed it. Now we just need to go out. We do need to drop some rope, so we're going to craft some rope. We've got quite a lot, so we'll just craft like 20 rope. And then we're just going to simply drop it on the floor. Any stones that we got, kind of drop them on the floor for now. All right, so they'll build. They'll do their job. And we're going to head out and just continue picking up blue shards. Now, eventually we'll get to a point where you won't necessarily need to keep building people or adding people, and that's okay. But at the start, if you don't have people to do the jobs for you, then you're going to have to do them yourself. So now we've got a gatherer. We can attach someone to that role and they will go and collect food. That is a wolf that is about to come and attack us. That is 2 wolves that are about to come and attack us. You hear that howl? Now if we back off, just keep moving backwards, they'll de-aggro and he'll run away. So at this stage, I don't want to fight them. Don't need to fight them. But you're always going to find blood shards around points of interest. So if you find a point of interest, there will always be some blood shards around. And we need to try and get close enough to farm them without aggroing or spooking the people we're trying to get away from. So now 3 minutes until the next villager. So I've got a little bit of time. The woodcutter is out cutting down long sticks. The builders don't really have much to do, so it looks like they're just chilling at the moment. And thankfully we've got 2 out of that, so it's good. Alright, we'll do this one. And then we're going to go back. So again, we just want 5 more. Just so we can get our next villager, because that's going to be our 5th villager once we do this. We've got 2 stones from that. That's brilliant. That means we've already got our 5. I think there's 1 in there, so we're totally fine now. We'll grab some berries. Grab some of the flax seed. Always grab flax seed. Early game, you're gonna need so much rope in the early game. The flax seed is just what you're gonna get rope from. It really does run out quickly. Right, we'll harvest this just while we're here. And I think initially that looks like most of the basic resources. You see the part 2 of the shelter's now going up. Everything else has been built. Then they're going to need bark, and they already know they're going to have that, so that's fine. Alright. Let's head back. I'll get a drink from here. And kind of rehydrate ourselves. Alright, let's go back and start fixing up some other items that we're going to need. Now, water is definitely one of them. So we're going to have to build a water source. Easiest way for us to be able to do that is going to be to first put down a rain catcher. If I go into my bushcraft, you can see here we've got rain collector. So I'm going to put that down first. But I wanted to get everything else built first, because if everything else is built, it just makes life a lot quicker and a lot easier. So now, for example, I can put down a rain catcher. It's going to be nice and easy. So I'll do that now. I'll just go rain collector. I'll just stick this at the start here. Alright, so now we can see what's required for that. We're going to assign a forager. Now, if we wait just a few more seconds, the new person that's coming in was a forager. That was their speciality. So if we add them, look at that, they're at level 10. Oh, that's agriculture, sorry. No, this one. So this one is an expert in foraging. They've got 1.5 stars. So they're good at foraging, which means they're going to forage quicker and get more from it. So we're going to make them a forager. Okay. We'll start getting our next person in. We can bring this person in. So he's a hunter. All right, this one's a hunter. We'll bring a hunter in. It's good to have. Okay, we'll assign the next homeless person. We need to build another shelter. So we'll do that. We've now got a water source, which is really good because we needed that. We actually need to bring in like 2 shelters because we've got one still homeless. Then we've got the next one as well. And because we've got a rain collector, we can now build a water well. We can put a water well down. Now, in order to put a well down, we have to first find a water source. And the easiest way to do that is to look around. And we're looking for this. So remember we had these natural water collectors? We can place a well on top of this. So if you find one of those around, and there'll be a few of them. Don't think there's any more over here, but... Oh, there's one there as well, so we can put a well on top of that as well. So now we can make a couple of wells. We don't actually need this one, so I'm just going to dismantle it for now because I don't want to waste resources for no reason. But there's another well. All right. So now that we've got the first 3 buildings made, we can now go into advanced production and make a workshop pit. So I kind of want to get this down before it gets too dark. And the way that we're going to do this, the way that we're going to try and do this, here we go. Oh. I want to try and make it there so that it has... I don't know how that's actually going to look because I can't see anything at the moment, but I think that works. We'll put that down here. Oh, that's actually a little bit too close, and I don't like that. We want to build this. We do kind of want to build it, maybe just back a little bit. But it looks like I can't build here because there's stuff on the floor. Actually, that works. Maybe we go something like that. There, that works. We want a little bit of a gap because you want to be able to get around everything. You don't want everything really closely packed in. You want to be able to move around between stuff. So we're going to build that workshop. Now, while that workshop is being built, we are going to go out and look for, as before, some more tools. And one of the tools we're going to need is another stone pickaxe. Let's go ahead and see if we can craft that. We need some rope. Right, well, we know we can make rope. It's also going to tell us that we're going to need some stone blades. Now, I can do stone blades. And it's going to tell me that I need sticks, which I've got. So there's another stone pickaxe. All right, let's head out. And we need another 4. We need another 4 of these. Now, obviously running around looking for these little small ones is really difficult. And so, rather than wasting our time running around looking for small clumps, we're going to make some better tools. At night time, it can be really hard to find stuff. And it's not effective if we just keep focusing on those small shards. So we're going to take just a moment. We're going to stop focusing on building like it was, and instead we're going to get this, which is going to be this workshop pit. All right, the builder's going to help me. So if I press tab now, I can see what I've got. I've got a woodcutter, I've got 2 builders and a gatherer. So the 2 builders should be helping me. Now some of them are going to be sleeping, some of them are going to be working. The way we can do this is we can actually edit their schedule. So if I click on somebody, this is going to be the screen. So I can see what their status is, their name I can change, where their home is, what their job is, all of their main stats, all of their status effects, and their perks, which is the 2 ones we knew about and 3 additional ones. I can see their own proficiency. So every single person has their own proficiency. So if you're training someone as a woodcutter, you want to kind of keep them as a woodcutter so they get proficient in their skill. And then I can see what makes them happy and sad. If I'm close enough to the person, I can press T, and this allows me to trade with them. So I can see their items, my items, and we can trade between them. The last thing I can do is I can set their work schedule. So in this instance, I can set this, and I can create a preset, and I could call this full work, because it's 24-hour work. If I wanted to, I could also go and do this, and I could create this, and I could call it full sleep. Maybe in the winter, I don't want them to come out, right? I can also do something where I'm going from like 8 in the morning. So maybe they wake up at 6. They have 2 hours of leisure time. And then we get them to work all throughout the day. Now, I want them to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I give them like 8 hours sleep, 2 hours leisure on the front, 2 hours leisure on the back, and then everything in between is going to be work. So I can create this, and I can call this the day shift. And then if I want to do another one of these, I can switch it the other way. So I can load these at any time. I can load the day shift up, confirm that. Now, if I want to flip this and go the other way, I can actually make them sleep. Now, I want to sleep during the day. So we said we're going to give them 8 hours. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're going to have 2 hours leisure either end. But then this one is going to be working the other side. And we're going to create this, and we're going to call this one the night shift. Save that. All right, and now we get to choose what we're doing. Now, you might want to stagger the leisure time because they're going to be doing things like drinking and eating and doing all of that stuff in leisure time. So you don't want them all to be like having leisure at the same time. But for now, at the early stage, it's totally fine. So now what I can do is I can say, well, okay, this person's going to be on a day shift. We'll put this person, because this person likes the sun. So we're going to put them on a day shift. But if they like the sun, this person likes the night. Because they like the night, we're going to put them on a night shift. So you want to try and get people to play to their strengths. We also need to figure out what do people like to do. Or for example, we know somebody's a bowman. This person is a lumberjack. It's his strength. So bow should be the lumberjack. So we're going to go to the lumberjack pit, manage the worker, and this is going to be bow. We're going to assign him. Now we'll have to dismiss the original person, and we're going to have to put this person in his place. And you can see he's got proficiency in this anyway. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now he's going to focus on being the best lumberjack he can be. He's also good at agriculture. So it might be that we want to swap him out and change him later. The gatherer is good at gathering. There's also 2 gatherers. This person's also good at gathering. They're good at skinning animals. This person's good at mining. So what I might want to do, because they're good at stones, I'm going to put soon I'm going to put as the person to focus on gathering. And this is where I meant about kind of figuring stuff out and looking around and getting ideas of stuff. So we're going to say we're going to dismiss you. Soon is going to become this person. And that is because we want Bodil to come into here. And Bodil, you're good at working with stones. So we'll do that. So now we've got a proficient stone collector. We've got a proficient wood cutter and a proficient forager. Great. They're all playing to their strengths. We'll attach someone else into a home. We need to build one more home. So we can do that. And then we're waiting to activate the next person. But the reason we haven't done that yet is because we now have, or what we're focusing on finishing, should I say, is this workshop. pit. And this needs 5 long sticks and 1 stick. So what we can do at this stage is look for some more trees to cut down. And we can help out. Because the quicker we get this workshop up, and you want to try and get it up within the first hour, we're about that point now, this is going to allow us to craft better tools. So we need sticks and long sticks, and we actually need quite a lot of long sticks. So we'll pick the sticks up first. Great, now we've got enough. Now the builders, if we've got any builders, they'll come and help us unless they're sleeping. We also need loads of sticks for the well. So as we're building a well. And so he should help us. Or he's not, he's going to put them in there. And so that's fine. If he puts them in there, we just pick them up and we can take them. Alright, so we just need 1 more of those sticks. There's 1 right there. Let's go and build this pit. Alright, that's the workshop pit. Now we can craft better items. And we can also assign somebody to craft on our behalf. So they can now make rope. The way that we do this, we go to the crafting table. And we first want to make a large stone pickaxe. So we need some sticks, some stone blades, and some rope. Well, we know we can make stone blades, we just need some stones. So, walk around. See if we can pick up some of these stones. If we have to harvest some of these little ones. Oh, okay, we broke that, but we actually have another one, so that's okay. We just want some small stones. Excellent. We'll take that. A couple of sticks. Now we can see there's some fibers here. You can always grab fibers at night when you can see them. There's quite a few just around the starting area, which is brilliant. We don't need to venture out too far. Excellent. Let's go back and just take a moment as well and just look at how atmospheric and like the immersion level that you get in this world. It's a really well built world. We can go ahead now. Create this. We just need those stone blades. We'll make a couple of those. And now we're going to craft large stone pickaxe. Done. So now we can use the large stone pickaxe and we can actually start to harvest these bigger blood shards. We don't have to waste our time now with small blood shards. We can just pick up the bigger ones. 1 means we haven't got to run as far. 2 means we're not running past stuff that we need. Alright, he's saying hello. He's going to get up and go out and forage. So the day shift's going to come out now. We're going to get the next person coming in. And at this stage, there's a kind of couple of things that we want to focus on. We're going to look to bring in another woodcutter because we're going to need a lot of wood. But the most important thing at this stage of the game is for us to be able to bring in a farm so that we can produce our own food. Because foraging is okay, but foraging will only last for so long. And the other thing as well is we really need to get some flaxseed planted so that we can start making a huge supply of rope. We don't just want to run around picking up flaxseed all the time. We actually want to make sure we're producing some. So a farm is the biggest requirement after your upgraded tools. drink some water. That will give us some stamina boost. All right. That should be enough for us to bring in the next one. Good. We'll bring in this person. And then we need 4 more. So again, we're going to carry on. The builder should be working. There you go. You can see the sticks going in. So the builder's making more accommodation for us. The forager is out grabbing food. The woodcutter is cutting up and stocking up with wood. The stonemason is picking up all the stones. But the stonemason will not pick up blood shards. Alright. So we just need 1 more of those, which we'll go out and grab in a minute. Alright. All good so far. Now there's a few people over here that says they're waiting for something. Did not find any sticks. Right, so they're actually waiting on sticks. So a couple of things we can do here. First we need to do, because the woodcutter's working nights. So because the woodcutter's working nights, it's our responsibility to chop this down and get the sticks. What we can also do is upgrade our next tool. We want to make a large stone axe, and for that we need 4 sticks, 4 rope, and 4 stone blades. So we can make the rope. We need to get some more sticks. Grab those, and we're going to just chop this down as well. This is going to give us some stone, but it's also going to give us the blood shard for the next person. And then we'll make our large axe. And our large axe will allow us to chop down big fir trees. So at the moment, we've only been able to chop down these young firs. But next, we'll be able to get this big fir. So he needs some bark. I'm just going to chop this down. And this axe is almost dead now. Once this is dead, I'm not going to replace it. All right, good. Then we'll get this one. And we're going to take some of these small stones as well. Right, so this is our first event. A pack of hungry smokers is approaching. Now, smokers are just pests. They're not going to hurt us. They're not going to do anything. We can effectively just ignore them, to be honest with you. They're going to come and steal some food from us and just be pests generally, but they're not going to do anything else, so. Okay, let's go and craft. And we're going to make a large stone axe. Done. So now we can come to a big tree. So this is not a young fir, this is a main fir. And we can now chop this down. This is going to give us more wood, but also it's going to give us logs. So logs come from firs, but long sticks come from young firs. You still get long sticks in a big tree, but you get logs in addition. And everything else as well. You get resin, bark, firewood, and sticks as well. So, are these really giving us everything we need in the early game? They've got more hit points. They take longer to break down. But it's all good. Now, our woodcutter cannot cut these down. Even if we give him the tool, he will not chop these down because he has nowhere to store the logs. So in order for him to chop these down, we're going to need to upgrade his house. And actually, because we want a farm, we first need to upgrade the gatherer hut. Now at the moment, we only have a gatherer pit. So if we open up the gatherer pit, we can now upgrade this to a hut. But this is going to require quite a few new ingredients. Rope, it's going to require stone, other things. One of which being, I'm just going to craft some more rope. I'll chuck that on the floor. Fuck everything on the floor. Right, so these guys got everything they need except for logs. Also can add the next guy in. Weather sensitive. Stormforge. I'm going to bring this guy in. This guy doesn't care about the weather. Alright, let me go and chop down a couple more of these because I need these logs. Now look, you can see at the moment all of the resources going down quickly because we've got lots of builders. You always want to have a decent amount of builders that can move stuff around. We've only got one woodcutter. We've only got one stonemason and we've only got one forager. We do have 6 villagers though. Now as the villagers are working, they will break their tools. Wood tools break very easily, stone tools as well. So we're going to have to keep replacing them. In order to do this, I can assign somebody to the workbench. I can tell them what tools to create, and that will be their job. So we're going to go and do that now. Eat some of those berries. Got nothing else to eat at the moment, but Ego got some more logs there now. So I can kind of bring a log with me, make this process a bit easier. And again, we're going to upgrade this. And this person's going to tell me we need fuel for lights. We did not find any logs. Alright, so logs are over there. He's bringing it in. We can assign somebody, so manage workers, who is going to be good at crafting. Well, no one's really very good at crafting, so we're just going to pick the first person and we're going to assign them. There we go. Now this person, we need to give them tasks. So the first task is I want you to make a large stone axe. So they will always make sure there is one large stone axe. And they will always make sure there is one large stone pickaxe. They're always going to make sure there is a stone knife, hammer, a wooden hoe, and they're going to make sure we've always got the option to get about 10 rope. Alright, they're going to work in that order to make sure we've got all of these materials because they're the important materials that we're going to need. I can drag these to change the order of them. But that person is going to take all the resources here in this basket. And we can chuck resources in here as well. But they're going to take those resources and they're going to build with it. Cool. Now we've got our gatherer hut. We can go ahead and build a farm. So let's do that because we really want to get a farm out. In terms of a farm, we're going to put this down kind of just here. We'll get this built. Kind of doesn't really matter where it goes, but we're gonna put it down there for now. At the same time, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. We've got 6 people with another one on the way, so we need to make 2 more shelters. And we're going to keep going with the shelters. Another one here. I'll chuck another one out the back there. Now these are birch trees. We can't chop down birch trees at the moment. We don't have anything tall enough. Same with these ones over the back here. There is, however, down here. We'll grab these. So the focus today is pretty much just blood shards. and getting basic buildings down. We went for the woodcutter hut, stone hut, the gatherer hut, pit. We got the 3 pits down, then we got the workshop pit. Then we upgraded the gatherer hut, and that allowed us to put down the farm. The next thing we're going to do is upgrade the woodcutter's hut so that they can start chopping down logs. Because remember, the pit cannot chop down logs, it's only the hut that can do that. So we're going to have to chop down a couple more trees. We'll just grab these. By the way, look, we chopped these down. Just a couple of swings now. So already more effective. We're going to have a look in the fruit basket, and already you can see, look, they're starting to pick up loads of eggs, so we can just eat the food now. So there's food supply, which is good. All right. And we need rope. So he's going to make rope, so that's everything we really need at this stage. Our job right now is to get some logs and some sticks. Because again, the woodcutter cannot get logs. We need to do that. The next thing we need to do is find a better source of food, because foraging is okay to start with, but we need better food. Now at the start of the game we had the opportunity to build a barbecue over the fire pit. I chose to avoid that because it's much better, in my opinion, to go straight for the cookhouse. You can't build a cookhouse until you have a farm. So you can currently see the progression that we're going through and the order we're doing it. And it's about to get dark again. Alright, that sort of stuff we needed there. And there's the 3 logs we need, by the way. And we can also break down logs to get more sticks, but we don't need to do that. There's enough sticks here. The builder's going to come pick everything up. The woodcutter's also going to pick stuff up and take it back, and only the items he can pick up, not the logs, but everything else he'll put in his hut or in his pit. All good. All right, we need to bring in our next person. We need 1 more bloodstone. Let's just go and grab that from the nearest possible source we can. So we've cleared most of the nearby ones now. We're going to keep looking for more flax, because we absolutely need that for rope. The other thing about picking up flax, oh, that sounds like a skeleton. It's going to come and attack us. We're going to run away from the skeleton. We're going to head over this way. And hopefully he'll back off. Yep. And we can just farm these. I'll get the one next to it because it makes no sense getting one and not the other. Alright, this is the Blood Moon Rises. So we actually are going to head back now. We're not going to get the other one. So the Blood Moon Rises, the dead walk again once more. This means we're about to, this is our first raid. We're about to get attacked. Now we have to go back in order to deal with this. So let's go back to the camp. We need to get there as quick as we can. And we need to get ready to fight. So something is going to come and attack us. We don't know where it's going to attack us from. We don't know who it's going to attack or where or how. So we just need to get back to defend. There it is. It's a skeleton. And you can see it's attacking our fire. Ooh. Right, now it's going to attack us. This is called a white. And that just did a lot of damage. Look at the damage that just did to us. Now these guys will start to attack. We're going to attack these. There we go. We've killed the skeleton. And these whites, they're kind of like zombies. So they're coming waves. That looks like the first wave. So what we're going to do is we're going to harvest these. Sometimes these drop blood shards. Sometimes they just drop bones. But we're going to skin it using a knife. Oh. Now you can hold down the R button and as you see it skins very slowly. Or you can cancel the animation as you're doing it. And as a result, you can actually skin it a lot quicker. So animation cancelling is good. Something else to skin here. Yep, there's another one here. We'll skin this one. So these whites, very, very easy to kill to start with. Oh, I can hear something. Yep, see, here we go, more whites. So these whites, nice and easy to kill. You just hit them with this with a knife. 3 hits, they're stunned. 2 more hits and they're dead. But they can hit you back. And if they do hit you back, you can do some damage. And that's it. The blood moon fades. So 2 waves. And as soon as the blood moon fades, that means the attacks are over. And you can kind of just go back to your business. Now we can sleep to heal, but that's slow. We can also eat garlic to heal, and that's better. There's another way to heal later, but we'll talk about that as and when we can. For now, let's just harvest these bodies. At this stage of the game, you need to make a decision. Do you want to be a melee combat fighter or... Oh, look, we did. We got 1 blood shard there. Do you want to be a melee combat fighter or a ranged combat fighter? There is no right or wrong answer. But you will need to make a decision because how you fight determines what you level up. And again, leveling up makes a big difference. Right, we need to make that. So let's go and get our 8th person in. Bring this one in. That's it. That's 8 villagers. That's what we wanted for today. That's 8 villagers, which is great for today. We've also got our farm that's built now. But with our farm, we now need to go into the building and add an add-on, which is our crop. So we need to place down where our land is going to go to farm. And we're going to start from here and go... we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4... 2, 3, 4. That's going to be our first field. It's a 4x4. Okay. Now we need to manage the workers and we need to assign somebody to the farm. Now this is actually the woodcutter, but the woodcutter's good at farming. This person's also good at woodcutting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to assign this person to the farm. We don't have a woodcutter anymore. So we're going to go back to the woodcutter. And we're going to assign the person here that's good at wood cutting. All right. At the same time, we are going to build another... We're going to build another woodcutter's pit so that we've got 2 of them. As I mentioned, it's going to help us to have 2 of these. So we're going to go ahead and build them. In terms of where we're going to build this, I think we're going to go for kind of like there. All right, so 2 woodcutter pits, 1 gatherer, and we've got 1 stone and 1 farm. But the farmer can tell me they need, please build a farm crop add-on. We're doing that now, so that's this. This needs rope. Well, look, we can make rope. Or we can make some rope. and some sticks. So if we don't have any rope in there, we've got enough, but we need more rope. Right, we're going to need so much more rope. So let's just go out quickly whilst it's night. And let's grab as much flax as we can. We've got a couple of hours before daylight. We want to use this to pick up as much flax. Because a field takes 8 rope and we need to do 3 fields. Also, we'll pick up as much garlic as we can. In fact, we'll just pick up as much as we can. So flax gives us flax seeds, so that's good. We want as many vegetables as we can as well. Okay, keep going. So berries are good, we'll pick up berries. Not going to pick up nests, I don't need to worry about that right now. But yeah, garlic, anything else? Skeletons over there, not too worried about them. This looks like an onion, so I'll pick up an onion. I'm not that bothered by that wolf. Oh, he did hit us, but it's fine. Alright, let's head back. More onions. Anything else we can pick up? So still some more berries, we'll grab them. Berries are a really good one at the moment. We're going to pick up as many berries as we can find to start with. And I think that's it. A couple more in this field, we'll grab these. Alright, I can see a couple more here, so I'll grab these. Do a little loop, and then we'll head back. Alright, there's our next person, so that's our 8th villager. So we need to heal so we can eat garlic, and it does stack. So we can stack all the garlic up on top of us, and look, we can see our health going up now as a result. So just by eating that garlic and stacking it all. Onions are the same. If we eat onions, again, they're going to heal us. So we get a burst heal from an onion, and we get a small burst heal from garlic. So we get a bigger burst heal from onions. So onions are better to eat than garlic. And now we're at full health. And if you cook the onions, even better still. Just makes everything last longer. Alright, grab some more water. Now if we're going to press G and we have a look at some of the stuff to do here, for example, survival. Different things that we can do. Again, if we go to food production, different things that we can do. One of them is to collect a sizable amount of berries. And it considers a sizable amount of berries as 50 berries. So if I pick these up, there you go. I've now completed it. All right, that should be enough. Let's head back. As you can see, I need 3 sticks to be able to finish off this farm. So I'm going to craft these just on the way back through. I should have enough berries now when I get back that we can plant them in the farm. Okay, that's enough of that. We're going to get the gatherer to do this as their job. We don't want to be doing this. So we can set them out and they can go and gather for us. And automation is the key here. This person here says, can't find anything to forage. So we'll deal with that in a minute. Right now, let's deal with this person. So this person's going to say they need a rake. So the farmer doesn't have a rake. So let's come back up here and see, how do I make a rake? Oh, I need sticks and rope. Well, I've got most of what I need. If I chop down this long stick here, then I can get a stick. And I can use that stick to make a rake. Let's do that. Cool. So now I've got a rake. I come back over here. I go to this farm that I've made. I press Q. And I can choose seeds and seasons. So 4 seasons. I'm going to go for flaxseed. I'm going to put flaxseed in every location. In the spring, I'm going to do that in the summer. This whole field is just flaxseed and nothing else because we need that for rope. We also need this for clothing. So this is rope and clothing. We need clothing for winter and for armor to survive. So we want to make as much of this as possible. And we can also make it in the winter. So there we go. We save it and that entire field is now done. So what I have to do now is till it. So I press E and that will till the field. Once that is done, we have to keep on top of the weeds. We also have to water it, and then we have to plant it. So we plant our seeds, and we can do that all throughout. Now, I'm not going to do that at the moment. In fact, what I could do, if I wanted to, is just grab another builder. So there's two farmers at the moment. I deposit everything into here. That's the seed storage. And then if I look in here, this is like going to be the food storage, right? Right, so this person's gathering, but they said there's nothing for them to gather. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deposit all this food. This person says they need sticks. So they haven't got enough sticks. So what I can do is I can come to the woodcutter. Okay, and then I can open up the woodcutter's tasks. And I want them to focus on sticks as a high priority. Because we need more sticks. So now that's what they're going to do. He'll make more sticks before anything else. That'll sort them guys out. Let's go and make our second field. And this person says they need a rake. So we're going to just transfer that rake over to them. And because they've got a rake, they don't need any other tools. So we can just take all that off of them. Just give them a rake. Now they've got a rake. Now they can finish that field for us. And we can focus on the next field. So we're going to do the same thing here as we've just done. We're going to make another 4. And then we're going to make another 4. And that's going to be our 3 fields that we need. All good. And we also want to build a couple of water catchers. Or at least a water catcher. Because a water catcher here is going to help with this. I don't think there is a well nearby. I'm just going to double check. There is a well over there. It's not too far, so that's fine. They can use that. Oh, there's also a well here, isn't there? We'll add this as a secondary well now. Good. Excellent. There's also a third well over there. I'm not going to take that third well. Now this clump, we can actually break this down. This is a great break because this is going to give us So many stones. Now we need the large pickaxe to do this. But you can see you're going to get about 5 large stones from this. And loads of small stones. So I'll break it down for them. And then I'll leave them to pick it up. They're sorting all this land out. We need to make some more rope so we can help out with that. Cool. We just chuck the rope on the floor. We're good. We've pretty much brought back everything we need. Some food in there. Loads of food in there now. Loads of seeds in there. Now we can take all the seeds out of here. We don't need these seeds in here anymore. We'll leave the feathers and the pine cones. Now we don't really want them to find pine cones. Pine cones are a little bit of a waste for us. So we can tell them as they're looking around what they're picking up. What do I want you to find? Well, I don't really care about reed seeds. Yes, grab fibres if you can. Always good if you can grab them. Don't need pine cones. Don't need reed seeds. Don't actually need any flaxseed anymore. I've got enough. Onion, garlic, cabbage and beetroot. Yes, great. If you can find them, get them. Feathers, yes. Wild eggs. Yes, please. All right, what else do we want you to find? Berries. Yes, please. Carrots and cabbages. Yes, please. And then in terms of seeds, it'd be really good if you can find some carrot seeds, some cabbage seeds, and some berry seeds. And if you can find onion seeds, that'd be perfect. Cool. All right. So everyone there's happy. Next bed has been made. So our homeless person, we're going to assign them. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, we need one more. So we need to make one more shelter. And we'll just put that here for now. That will get built. We'll get the well built as well. Now we're going to upgrade. Next upgrade is going to be the woodcutter's hut. So we're going to work on that. We'll upgrade this one as well. So we'll get 2 upgrades on 2 different woodcutter huts because we've got 2 of them. We're going to assign someone to work on this one. So we've got 2 woodcutters. So now we've got 2 woodcutters. We're going to have a builder, 2 farmers at the moment, stone cutter, 3 woodcutters now, actually. Or we will have eventually. We've got 2 woodcutters, 2 farmers, stone cutter, a gatherer, a builder, and a workshop. That's everything we need at the start of this game. And getting that farm up is massive. The next thing we're going to add is the cooking hut. And this is the last building for today, the cooking hut. So we kind of want to get this. We're going to put this down kind of just here as a starting point. And yeah, that's going to go next to the farm. So once the farm's finished, we'll put that there. And the next basic production we can make is a hunter's hut. So we're going to go for the hunter's hut as well. And that is going to make... We'll put that down there. That is going to make meat. So now we're going to have a hunter that's going to hunt meat, a farm that's going to make vegetables. Meat and vegetables are going to go together to make us our stews, meat stew, vegetable stew, and scrambled eggs and things like that. So we're going to cook all our proper food. This is all getting done. So you can see this whole field's pretty much done now. So now we've got flaxseed down. We're going to set the next field and we're going to do exactly the same thing here. So we're going to do flax. Again, it's kind of set it and forget it. So we'll do spring. You can just hold down left click to do these real quick. Okay, we're going to save that. So that one's now done as well. And in this third field, we'll do this one slightly different. So we'll do some berries. We've got some. We'll do some, not cabbage and carrots because we can't at the moment. So we'll do 2 lots of berries. We'll do 1 lot of garlic. And we'll do 1 lot of onion at the moment. Perfect. There's our 3 fields. This person's going to tell me they need a rake. Could not find flax seeds. Oh, look, I've got flax seeds. So let me put them in here. So I'll deposit everything I've got here. Good. They've got their rakes. This person's now going to tell me I need rakes and I could not find flaxseed. This person's going to tell me they need another forage marker. So this is the foraging marker here. If I break this down by dismantling it, I can kind of pick up the rope and the stick and I can go and put this down somewhere else. Now I need more flaxseed. So it's getting dark. Oh, I'd tell you what I didn't do. I did not harvest this skeleton bruiser. We'll just take that out as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look around for some more flaxseed to get these seeds. I'm going to move that forage marker to the next field. And you can put down multiple forage markers and they'll just use them all. Wherever they can go. I'm going to head over here. And I think from where we started... Yeah, look, there's a lot of stuff over here. A lot of stuff to forage. So I'm going to go into markers. I'm going to go into food foraging. I'm going to put that down right here. I'm going to rebuild it. Now they're going to look for whatever they can in this area. I am going to get as much of this flax as I can. Again, because I need those seeds. Now, I don't need to worry about bringing in more people at the moment, but that is next on the agenda. So, tomorrow, we're going to look at better accommodation. We're back up at the mine again now. So, tomorrow is going to be better accommodation. We're also going to look at... Oh, I'll pick up onions as well. Definitely want onions. Better accommodation. And we're also going to be looking at getting iron. So iron is a huge, huge milestone in this game because that allows you to make better tools. But the process of iron is complicated. It's not straightforward. It takes time. So we actually have to do a lot of preparation for it. And that's going to be tomorrow's focus. So today was really around the basics. Getting the basics up. Now, if we look at our settlement, it's going to tell us... yeah, we know someone's homeless. We've got to build that. We're going to go back in a minute because we have to go and build that home for them. But it tells us we don't have any defences at the moment. We haven't got any walls. But the reason we're not building any walls at the moment is because it's going to take us ages because we don't have any rope. And so whilst we could build walls or fences, we need so many sticks and rope. So I would rather focus on the farm, making the flax. And once we get the first crop yield in, we'll use the rope from that to build our fence. That's going to give us our initial defense. And by that time, we'll have built enough buildings to understand what is our basic footprint. Because what you don't want to do is kind of build a fence and then have to move it and change it. And no, that can take time as well. So today... the goal was getting started, food and water. Once we had food and water, the focus was continually bringing in new people. Then we had to focus on upgrading our tools. Then we wanted to focus on upgrading our buildings to allow us to make a farm, to allow us to put down our flax seeds. And that's it. That is what we've done today. And we're in a good place. Now, I'm just going to end this video by heading over to find a new point of interest. And that is going to be called the Large Spire. Now, we can see it in the distance. It's that huge clump. So we're just going to start walking towards it. Again, just harvesting on the way. It says spring is coming to an end. So 4 days survive. And after day 5, so it's 5 days per season, which means summer is going to end after 10 days. Autumn after 15, which means then we're going into winter. So we know we have approximately 10 days in game left before winter hits. That's what we need to be prepared for. Something's coming to attack us because I just heard it. Oh, it's one of those whites. All right, we're not too worried about him. So look, that is the Large Spire. That's it. We're not going to go any closer. There's actually some stuff that would attack us around here. To give you an idea of how many enemies there are, you can kind of just see them running around. There's so many. We're not ready to fight that yet. Missed that. We're not ready to fight that yet, so we're going to run back. And we're ready for tomorrow to start off bringing some more people in. I can hear someone coming towards me. He is going to try and attack us. Okay. We're good. I could harvest the bodies. I'm not going to bother. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to be melee or do you want to be ranged? If you want to be melee, then build a weapon and defend yourself. If you want to be ranged, build a bow and arrow. I highly recommend going ranged. It's harder at the start, but you need to become proficient and you need skill because it is the only way you're going to really be able to kill the boss in this game. You can do it melee, but it's a lot harder, So I recommend if you're going to fight in this game, fight with a bow and arrow. It's a lot easier to do it from ranged, and you'll level up that proficiency. Now, you can do both. There's nothing wrong with doing both. And I prefer melee combat personally. So you might want both. You might want to create 2 weapons. Maybe you want to create like a club and a bow and arrow. We'll focus on that tomorrow at the start of tomorrow's video. We'll look at making weapons to defend ourselves. But for today, we've achieved everything we needed to achieve. We're done for today. We're going to head back to the base. You can see these buildings, they're almost finished. So we're just going to let them finish. And if we look at the map, you can see we've kind of explored quite a big area. There's the Wolfer Den there, cemetery, another Wolfer Den. There's the Large Spire. So, yeah. A good run so far. And then tomorrow we'll have the hunter finished. So we'll take out one of the woodcutters tomorrow because we'll probably have most of the resources stacked up. So we don't need 2 woodcutters. We'll take one out, put him in a hunter den. So then we'll have a constant supply of meat coming in. We've got 2 farmers. Now everything's prepped. It's quite hands off now. So we can go down to 1 farmer. So just kind of arranging people. And yeah. Oh, that sounds like the cemetery. So again, you can always hear the audio cues before you get attacked. Whether it's the wolf howl or the skeleton dragging their sword. And they've all got patterns that you can follow. Makes it all nice and straightforward. Right, for some reason, I don't know why, this isn't getting built, so we'll finish that later. That one was being done. This one's not been started, so we've got a builder. Or not. Oh no, look, we do. We have one builder. So we'll put him on a day shift. I will put this one on day shift as well. So if we've got a woodcutter, for example, you may want to have one woodcutter at night and one woodcutter during the day, so you can alternate them. So here we've got farmers. We've got a day shift and a night shift farmer. So they alternate between them. So that means a farm is being tended to 24/7, which is kind of what you want to do. So if they have a preference, stick them on a preference. If there's two of them, then alternate them. Otherwise, we're going to put everyone on a day shift for now. If someone comes up to us and says, I need rakes for farming. Do you know what? That way I can come in here and just say, do you know what? Actually, I'm going to dismiss you. So now you're going to be a builder instead. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2 hours as promised. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow for the next part. You can see what we've done today. It's a good start. I'll see you tomorrow when we continue. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.